Welcome back to another episode of Do You Mind? Yeah.
That was different. I don't think I know we weren't in tune, and don't fucking clock shit.
Tell me, do you mind if I ask a question? Would you mind? I'd like to learn more. It's only right, 'cause you've got something in that school that I'm dying to know. Would you mind? Do you mind?
Yeah. Do you mind if some baddies speak their mind? Giving you the tea so you might just get surprised. Could get out of pocket cause we're looking for some change. Altering your scope to give you better range. Some can't swallow the truth so they gurgle. We smart and quirky like Urkel. Do you mind real talk and not just chatter? Then come and join the fam and let's talk about what matters.
Tell me, do you mind if I ask a question? Would you mind? I'd like to learn more. It's only right, 'cause you've got something in that school that I'm dying to know. Would you mind? Do you mind?
Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We actually haven't done this on any episode yet.
Oh, you know we like to add a little twist. Here,
We have
Daisha!
Hi, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today and to be your first ever guest.
Who better than to start off our interview than the fantastic, the wonderful Daisha? Yeah! And she's so close to us, so
Yes.
it just really honestly makes the perfect sense. She has expertise in many facets of life, not only through experience, but through career and also from being a baddie. So it's like, it really all adds up. Am I right or am I always right? Period.
Honestly, just truly honored, and it is also my first time being on a podcast. I've been asked before, but I've always been a little nervous, so I'm excited that I'm doing my first ever one with my cousin and one of my best friends, and it's in a more comfortable setting.
Period. So although this will be an interview style and where we'll be asking questions that she'll be answering, I also do want it to be obviously discussion based because that's what this podcast really is about. It's about discussion. It's about conversating.
Zaisha's a real estate agent, a woman in a position of power, a woman of color in a position of power, a young woman of color in a position of power.
Period. Go ahead with the intersectional identity.
Yes, listen, there's too much to not acknowledge there. But when it comes down to like commercial real estate and stuff like that, what do you think is something people like wouldn't guess about your job? Like what's something that you think people don't really know at all? Like it doesn't, like when people say it, they're like, oh, really? Like I didn't think that was even part of your job.
That is a loaded question. Because I feel that anyone thinks of real estate and they're automatically thinking of houses, right? And then you hear that I'm a commercial real estate agent, and most people are like, what does that mean? I don't think people understand that my job is to literally like know and coordinate everything from what's going on in the market. What are some laws that are changing certain industries of commercial real estate? I need to know the zoning. I need to know all of your space requirements. I need to understand your vision to help you find the right space. So it's like I am your business consultant plus your architect plus your showing coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm the transaction manager. I am putting all of these pieces of a puzzle together, and I don't think people realize how much knowledge I have to know.
But was some of that knowledge transferable from your expertise in real estate?
What you're referring to is when I was in residential. What I took from that was how to run a deal, how to work with people. It definitely helped me build a network. Never did I really think that it was going to happen, but I wanted it to happen so bad. And I was like, well, what the fuck do you have to lose?
Yeah.
And I knew that commercial real estate is what I've always wanted to do, but I was very naive when I got my real estate license. I had a vision of what I wanted to be like, but I didn't really know the steps on how to get there, what that meant.
2 years, that's it? That's all you were, and you were dominating it, high key.
Listen, I remember that video, the real estate company at the time that she was with for residential, boxing countdown, and like Zaisha was number one on the list because she got like the best, like she did the best out of everybody there.
I feel like you was doing that continuously. If the bitch wasn't number one, she was definitely top 3. Like you was not playing with her. Like
I've got to say, like, although going into it, I was naive. I've always trusted my ability to outwork anybody.
Period.
I don't care how much I don't know.
Period.
If I don't know something, I'm going to figure it out. So when I got into the industry, I was like, oh shit, like some of these people really know their shit.
Yeah.
How am I ever going to retain all this information all at once?
Yeah.
But I did everything. I went to every single top producing agent that I could envision myself as or like, and I was like, how can I help you? How can I take over your open houses? What can I do for you? I went to everything I can possibly go to. I took notes. I studied. I was like a fly on the, I was a sponge. I was just like trying to take in everything in my environment. I like to say that I just kind of kept my head down and I worked 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 and I didn't stop working. And then at some point I like pick my head up and be like, okay, we like made it over a hill.
Okay, period. Like now I could breathe.
I could breathe a little bit. For a second. Now I'm going back to work. I never like thought I was going to be this like top producing agent. I knew I wanted to be. You guys would all be in like a car with me going to showings and we'd be ripping bongs in the car.
We sure would.
You know, we were young.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up too, because I think that shows like, I know for me, it's like I'm sober now, like I haven't been smoking. With that was because I felt like as though it was almost making me lazy or not as propelling me forward. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it would take up a lot of my time and stuff like that. I wasn't like, the time I'm spending doing this, it's like, I'm wasting it because I was still spending it doing stuff. I definitely felt like it got me lazy to a point. So do you feel like it affected you in any way during that time? I know like for me, like I would have just a small smidge of anxiety like going in. If I was showing to a client, you know, I'd be like very like uppity, but it's really the anxiousness.
No, I love that you asked me that. So I didn't do this with every single client. It really depended who I was meeting. Yeah. You know, some of my clients, like they were cool. Like everybody's human. And I think that, you know, people want that when they're working with any agent. They want to see a human being. Period. They want someone that they trust and like that can guide them. As soon as I switched over to commercial, and that was like a whole new ball game. Yeah. I was like, holy, okay. We're starting over. I needed to level up.
Yeah, like no more dilly-dallying.
There was no more dilly-dallying. Like Period. I couldn't, like, a house is a house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, like, shade to anybody in residential real estate, because that you definitely have to have, you know, skill level to be a top producing agent to, you know, continue in this industry, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Commercial just had different challenges that I actually didn't know how to get through. And I quickly realized that I needed to be my best self. Period. And that meant I couldn't, you know, just get high. Little by little, I was not smoking during the day. And I would just smoke at night. Period. Not smoking at all. Just and like making sure I was going to the gym and I was going to bed early and waking up early because I needed time to like study my information, to make sure I showed up clear-minded with topics ready to talk about. Period. I had to know my shit. It was a different style of client. So I had to show up ready, and that also meant like being the best version of myself in every aspect, like eating good, you know, staying active, like taking care of my mental, my physical health, because all of these things do come into play with how I show up to a meeting. Absolutely.
That's not to say that you out there, viewers, can't show up your best under influence. However, I do know that it does affect you, period. Whether it's good or bad, it's dependent on the individual and the predicament you're in. It's like an outside factor, you know, and that and outside factors are sometimes they could go either way. Like I like how you said like clear-minded, like more as your best self, because like for me it was like more so like so that I could be present. Like that was it for me. Like it's almost like I was there. It's not that I wasn't there, and it's not that I wasn't being myself, but it was almost like it passed and I'm like, wait, did that just happen?
I definitely use it medicinally. I also worked in the cannabis industry for 4 years. A lot of education while working in the cannabis industry, and that's when I really kind of realized I was kind of abusing it when I was ignorant to what it was for and why and what and how to use it properly. And like there's like times and places and also like a mindset that you're looking to be in. I feel like when I'm being creative, making music, art, playing video games, things like that, I'm a little more free with how much I consume and why I'm consuming. For the most part, if I'm consuming throughout the day, in the morning or at night, it's due more to anxiety, a lack of hunger and stuff like that, rather than me just trying to smoke.
I respect that. I love that you explain what it means to you, because honestly, it affects everybody so differently.
The heterosexual matrix, and what that is like when you see somebody, you automatically think they're heterosexual until shown otherwise. Obviously, unless their gender identity reflects possibly not heterosexual. But what this construct does is it normalizes heterosexuality as the norm.
Yeah.
And the problem with this is that it allows the space for anything that's not heterosexual to be seen as unnatural. When I read it, I was kind of like, I love putting terms to things that I already talked about. Bisexual erasure is such a common thing from both heterosexual and homosexuals, because it's like once a bisexual person chooses a partner, now you automatically associate their sexuality based upon their partner, erasing their bisexuality. For example, like a girl that dates both guys and girls, once you see, let's say she ends up dating a girl and she's going to be with that girl and it seems like they're going to be with that girl forever. Now they're just lesbians. Completely erasing their bisexual identification into this heteronormative matrix or bisexual erasure, where it's like once a guy goes with a guy, he's automatically gay. But he's still bisexual. You know what I mean? So it's like,
This ties in a lot with monogamy. If monogamy wasn't at play, the erasure of bisexuality would be a little bit harder in that context, because if someone wasn't considered, like, I feel like the idea that people don't find other people attractive once they're in a relationship is actually ridiculous.
If I'm going to spend the rest of my life with someone and I can't be like, they were hot.
yeah.
That's weird.
And
like,
boring.
That's boring. How am I supposed to spend the rest of my life with
Right.
you?
Yeah.
And
That's how
like
I
be
feel
fun
as
and
well.
like look at somebody.
You know, at
Right.
least look.
Like she got
Like,
fat ass. I saw
I
that.
love looking at a good ass.
Who doesn't? So doesn't.
Let's talk about the power of choice.
Ooh, yeah, let's talk about that.
Does the world revolve around man or woman? You want to know what the answer is?
I would like to know your answer.
Okay, you ready? You ready? The sun.
Period.
You think how the world is actually revolving around the sun.
Period.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So think about the power of choice, and in that aspect, it was power of choosing a specific perception of, are we going to stay in this choice that are given to you? Or are you going to think outside the box?
Yes. I'm actually very passionate about this conversation.
Yes, give it.
Literally everything in life, you have a fucking choice.
Period.
Like, I don't care what you're going through. Like, do the whole boo-hoo me for however long you need to. But at one point, you have a choice.
Heavy.
Like, if people who suffer with depression and anxiety and other things, like, you have those challenges. Those are real challenges.
Period.
But in a sense, you still have a choice to try to help yourself through those challenges or not.
Or even dig yourself deeper.
Dig yourself deeper. You know you have depression. What are you doing to help your depression?
Period. Or what are you doing to continue worsening the symptoms?
Or worsening the symptoms.
Yeah.
Like, everything in life is about a choice. And I learned that very quickly because I grew up in a very reactive household.
Period.
Anytime something happened where I felt disrespected or didn't go my way, like, I just like was always like very reactive and emotional about how I, went about the situation. And then I met my husband, who's like really calm, and he was just always handling everything with so much grace and calm. And I'm like, how? He learned to be that way. I learned to be this way, but now I've seen two perspectives on ways that I can react to any situation, and I have a choice on how I want to react. I like to have my 5-minute funerals about things. I will cry, complain, and bitch about certain situations. But at one point, once I get sick of shit, when I get sick of my own shit, when I get sick of being in the same scenario, I have a choice to do something different and put myself in a better position.
Something's not working out, but you're still doing the same thing, and no wonder it's not working out because you're not trying something new.
You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yep.
You've got to do something different to get a different result.
And you can be self-aware at the same time. You can
You
know
can be.
that you're doing this and still be doing it. Also about like giving yourself grace too, and it's like if things fall back into the same place, deciding that it's okay from here on, and then it just won't happen again. You're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble, and I feel like that's what that's what it's about too. And it's really about getting help when you need it. And if it's not talk therapy, maybe it's electrotherapy, maybe it's medicine, maybe it's not, maybe it's herbal medicine, maybe it's yoga. There's something. Yeah. There's something to help you.
I think to even tie into that conversation is also knowing when to quit. I know quitting is never like seen as an option. Like sometimes you're just not supposed to quit. Like, you know, like I feel like it's constantly instilled like don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. But I feel like sometimes it's okay to not succeed in this route because there's other routes that you could succeed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's important to be able to distinct like when it's one of those instances where it's like maybe I'm supposed to quit this and succeed in something else, or maybe I'm supposed to keep trying harder rather than quitting. So it's like you have to have a sense of like self-awareness in that aspect, but also because it takes knowing yourself to know what you can and can't accomplish. But it also, but that's just in that moment, like just because you can't accomplish something now doesn't mean you can't attain the necessary skill set, the necessary knowledge, or insight it takes to succeed in something you can't now. You know what I mean? So, again, when I say know when to quit, it's also that's more so like just to know yourself even deeper.
And maybe sometimes it's just taking a step back.
Yeah.
Like just pause, take a step back, do some self-reflection. Understand the choices that you've made to get to a certain point. Look at what's ahead of you and figure out a new route. Something might not work now, but like you said, doesn't mean it won't work later.
That's something I feel like I've really had to come to terms with in like the last couple of years of my life is like it's not what's happening to me, it's what I've done to get to the point that I am. And honestly, like it's like people, I feel like it's not in like a like everything is my fault type of way, and I feel like people might take it that way, and that's something that like is hard to kind of like. Actually, I feel like even when I started like trying to work on this, I took it that way, and I was kind of trying to like I was just like, well, it's just my fault, it's just my fault, it's just my fault, and that didn't really help me either. Kind of just put me into like this kind of like debilitating like state, like a debilitative state. I couldn't really do anything. I was just kind of like numb and then just trying to get through every day in survival mode really bad, choosing to be happy and just decide that it's really not a bad life, it's a bad moment, it's a bad second. And like she said, 5-minute funerals is a real, I love that. I've never heard that phrase. It's so cute. It's such a good way to put it, because it's deaded and it's done. Once it's done, you shouldn't carry that weight anymore.
Emotions are real, but like emotions are a roller coaster. Like let them come and go. That's what they are. They're emotions. They come and they go. Feel them.
Period.
And then you have to find a way to move on.
And then to tie into power of choice, I remember one instance where the changing the perspective really hit for me. It was like, maybe things aren't happening to you, but they're happening for you. Sometimes bad things happen to propel you forward. And although it kind of sucks because like I don't want to give negative moments in life, whether how bad or not, like kind of like a halo. But you know, like some things, again, it's that power of choice of making the worst good. You know what I mean? Still finding the good in the worst. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to diminish the fact that it's still bad or whatever. But this is all the time we have. So thank you so much, Daisha, for coming and really giving your insight and the amazing aura that you bring and just you as an individual. And so thank you for everything. Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.